What's going on, guys? It's Patrick from Purple Park Studios, and today we're going to be taking a look at AI workflow in Unity. So everything you're looking at right now is actually AI generated. Everything from the 3D model to the environment to the rigging to the animations to the coding. This is all AI. So guys, with this workflow, I'm using a combination of ChatGPT and MeshyAI. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of my own design in Blender, but the workflow is primarily AI. So a lot of you might have heard of MeshyAI, and the big question is it good? I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube about MeshyAI, but today I'm going to show you firsthand from my experience and my opinion what I think about MeshyAI. So if you go on the website MeshyAI, you can see that there's some pretty decent looking stuff here. And personally, I found that sometimes some of this stuff looks a little bit better than what you get. Now, keep in mind, even though you're just generating this stuff, you can go in and clean it up and make it look a lot better than what it comes with. But I think the best way to really show you what I mean is just to dive right in. So I'm going to go over here and click Text to 3D. You can see they've got a bunch of different options, but the Text to 3D is pretty nice. Now, before we actually go ahead and generate something, I want to show you some of the things I've been working on. Now, you might notice this here from my Blender clip that I just showed you a few minutes ago, and you can actually use the AI to texture your own 3D model that you make. So as you can see here, and this is kind of what you'll get with a lot of these, the textures look a little bit stretched, and sometimes they're not perfectly, like there's just something that looks off about them. But overall, it's actually decent, at least like from far back. So it could be really good for like a mobile game or something. This is one of the mechs that I've generated, which I'm planning to use in my game. So this one's actually turned out pretty decent, and especially for just being an object that's going to be getting destroyed and spawned all over the game, this is actually pretty good. So I really like the way this model turned out. I've generated this sci-fi blaster gun here. This one's pretty cool, probably one of the better models. This one also turned out pretty good. So you can see it does some things better than others. I think as far as environments, it's not quite there with like environment pieces, but it's getting there. And as you'll notice, like some of these characters are actually pretty decent. So this is the character that I'm using in my game, and you can see he's low poly, and in my prompt, this is the prompt right down here. We can click it. Generate a low poly game ready cyborg for a top-down sci-fi shooter in Unity, blah, blah, blah. So you can see that in the prompt, I'm asking it to give me a low poly. So let's actually dive into MeshyAI and generate something. So I'm going to go up here and click New Model, and I'm going to describe my prompt. So I want to create a sci-fi fox wearing white sci-fi armor, and we'll put a comma and we'll say Guardians of the Galaxy. And the more descriptive you are with these prompts, the better it's going to be. So I'm going to put short let me see. So at the top here, I'm going to add the word short. So I'm going to put short sci-fi fox wearing white sci-fi armor, Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll put helmet with face shield and eyepiece. I'm just going to go ahead and hit generate and see what it gives me. So while it's generating, I just want to say that MeshyAI is free, and I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just making this video because I think it's pretty cool, and it's very interesting to see the results, some of the results you can get. They do offer some paid tiers. I tried out the paid tier, did like a monthly thing. I think it was like $20 or something for the month, but so far I've been pretty happy with the results I've been getting. So if I double click this, what it's generated, we can see it's giving me 4 options. So some of these are pretty cool. I actually really like this one down here at the bottom, although this one is pretty cool too. So we can actually click on any of these and click the little eyeglass thing to zoom in. So this one here is pretty cool, and this one here looks very detailed, but you can see that some of it, it's actually looks pretty bad, some of the topology and everything there. So I'm actually going to go with this simple one here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm, and since I'm using the paid one, I can choose my polygon count. Since I want it to be low poly and possibly use it in my game, I'm going to keep it at 3K, and I'm going to have it set to quad. I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm, and it's going to generate and texture the model. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. This is what it's generated for me, and the textures actually look really nice on this. Might need a little bit of cleanup in the back, and you can see, like, if you get up real close, I mean, it's actually not, it's not bad for AI, it's really not, but if you get up close, you can see it might not be perfect, but this is actually not bad. And if we go over here, we can switch to PBR shading, and they do have some options where you can customize things up here. So there's texture settings, you can change the metallic, you can change the roughness. So I'm just going to go back over here to the albedo shading for right now, and we can see that this is actually pretty cool. And you could definitely use this in an animation or even in a game as a game asset. I really like the front. This is really cool. So guys, MeshyAI takes it a step further. We can go ahead and we can click animate, and you can see that there's all these different options to choose from down here, all kinds of different animations. I'm assuming these are motion capture. They look pretty realistic, but we can actually use MeshyAI to rig our model that it's generated for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click rig, and I'm going to click humanoid since it's more of a human than it is a dog, even though it is technically a fox there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and I'm just going to go ahead and click next again. So now this is pretty similar to Mixamo. I've done some videos where I've shown Mixamo in them. So I'm going to go ahead and drag these to the knees, these to the ankles. I'm going to go ahead and drag these to the wrists. I'm going to go ahead and drag these to the elbows, and I'm not too concerned about this being super perfect because this is going to be for a game. So again, it doesn't need to be super perfect. But maybe I want to bring this chin down, and you can see up in the corner when I click this, it's going to show me a more accurate spot of where I'm actually lining this up to. So now that I've got this looking pretty decent, I'm going to go ahead and click confirm, and the AI is going to rig our model. So we can see that it's not perfect. There's some facial distortion there, and there's also some other little distortion. So we could always go ahead and try this again and maybe just reposition that chin a little bit better so it doesn't do that weird thing with the face. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and just click on some of these animations. But yeah, this is really cool, and aside from the facial distortion, which we could just rig him again, you can see how this can be really useful for getting some quick game animations. You could just select, you could go ahead and select an animation, click download, it'll download the FBX file directly to your downloads folder, and then you could go ahead and click on as many other animations as you want and download those and import them into Unity. And you can quickly get a lot of different animations for your game or scene. So there's a kind of a funny one where it's really stretched out and everything. So you can see that it's not going to be perfect, but guys, come on, this is pretty crazy technology. And I think it's only going to be getting better and better, and I think MeshyAI seems to be a pretty good company, and if we can provide them with feedback, which they're probably already aware of, they're probably going to be able to make this stuff better quickly, which will be really amazing. And if I go up here and click new model, one thing that's pretty cool is you can hit this little magnifying glass here, and you can actually remix other people's prompts, and you can see that there's some really nice results that have been generated here. These are probably cleaned up a little bit if I had to guess before the thumbnail picture is put up there, but this is also probably some of the better things that MeshyAI has been able to generate. You can see there's some pretty cool stuff. So you can actually reuse any of these prompts, like for example this one's kind of cool. I can go ahead and click remix, and now I've got the exact prompt that was used to make this, and I can go ahead and remix that. There are some licenses if we click on this here, and you can see that this is actually a really good model. This has a lot of detail and it looks pretty good. So this is actually one of the better ones. Now of course if we get up real close we can see that there are definitely some issues and it's not super high quality, but definitely for a game or from far back it's pretty decent. So if we scroll down here, you will see there are different types of licenses. This is CC0. I think most of these are CC0, but you can see how quickly and easily it is to get some really nice things that would take hours and hours of work. You can get them in seconds. While they might not be as perfect as if you, well, they might not be as perfect or nearly as perfect as if you spent hours and hours of work on them. you can definitely see the benefit of using this for some stuff. I wouldn't recommend using it for everything, but it can definitely come in handy if you just need something for your background, some background elements, or a low poly game asset. It's really good for that. And I think in the future it's going to be great for close-up rendering stuff too. It's just not quite there yet. So here guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment. And I'm in the very beginning stages of making this game, but this is going to be pretty sweet when it's done. Can't wait to show it to you all. I'm actually about to get to work on designing more of this environment and adding some enemy. So I'll be sure to keep you guys posted with more videos coming up.